you will not find a single Indian who has not heard the name of Mahatma Gandhi. And 72 years after his death, Gandhi is so popular not only in his own country but even abroad that you will be surprised to know the fact that as many as 80 countries of the world have Gandhi's picture on their stamps. A total number of 250 such stamps are issued by different countries of the world. That's why there is a saying about Gandhi that Gandhi dead is more powerful than Gandhi alive. That Mahatma Gandhi, when he was alive, compared to his power during his lifetime, after death he has become more powerful. This means he has been able to influence the world, influence the human civilization, influence people even after death more than what he did during his lifetime. But interestingly, even when Gandhi was a middle-aged man, he was about 50 years of age, his name was not that well known across the country. So if you study the life of great people, you will find that in many cases their beginning was very humble, very ordinary. In Gandhi's case, what made him to become so popular worldwide that even after 72 years of his death, he is quite known in different parts of the world. To know this thing, we have to go back to the year 1917 and the place Bihar. Something happened in the Champaran district of Bihar in the year 1917 that paved the way for a new life for not only Gandhi but also for the Indian freedom movement. So the lesson that we will study today will teach us, it will throw some light on the progress of India's freedom movement, emergence of Gandhi as a leader of the masses, and also peasant revolution. These three things are together there. So then, this lesson is called Indigo, written by Louis Fischer. Remember one thing, in these two words of the author's name, there is one S in each word. Both the S are silent. You are not to say Louis, not Louis, Fischer. Louis Fischer is the author. You will find in your textbook at the beginning a brief note of the author's biography that Louis Fischer was born in Philadelphia in 1896. Philadelphia is a city in the United States of America, and he was into journalism. And then he wanted to write a biography of Gandhi. Many people have written biographies of Gandhi, but biography means the life story, But the one written by Louis Fischer, that is considered one of the best biographies ever written by anyone on Gandhi's life. What is the name of that biography? The name of that biography is The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. That is the name of the original book. It is the biography of Gandhi written by Louis Fischer, and from that particular book we have this Indigo as a chapter. But interestingly, Indigo, what is Indigo then? Indigo is the name of a plant from which we get some material which are used for adding brightness to the white cloths. Neel it is called in Hindi. So we often use it also. There are different kind of varieties nowadays. Nowadays there are artificial productions also of indigo. So that was the time when indigo was cultivated in large quantities. It was a very profitable agricultural product. So how come indigo and Gandhi and freedom movement, all these three things, how come they are linked together? This interesting fact you will discover at the end of the lesson. Let us first of all see The Life of Mahatma Gandhi is the original book, biography of Gandhi written by Louis Fischer, and from that particular book, this Indigo is a chapter. And Louis Fischer, when he wanted to write Gandhi's biography, if you want to write someone's biography, for example, if you want to write my biography, what will you have to do? You have to collect information about me. How can you get that information? You can read, one way is you can read any other books written by other people about me, or you can meet those people who are my close associates, who know about me, who have spent their time with me. But the best way is to meet me only. If you want to write about someone, then the best way is to meet the person, to see him, to talk to him, and to know about his principles, his philosophy, his way of life. And this is the thing that Louis Fischer did. He met Gandhi. And when he met Gandhi, that was the year 1942, And at that time, Louis Fischer asked Gandhi, tell us about how you emerged as a leader. In what way you became so popular across your country. Then Gandhi told him that to know this thing, we have to go back to the year 1917. Let us see what Louis Fischer has to tell us about his meeting with Gandhi and what led to Gandhi's emergence as a leader of the masses, and how this Indigo and Gandhi and the Indian freedom movement, all these three things are linked together. All these things you will know from this lesson. At the beginning of every lesson, you will find certain phrases given, and if you fail to know the meaning of those phrases, these phrases may appear to be a bit new to you. If they are really new to you, when you find these phrases in the text, then you try to relate its meaning. I think you can easily do that. Let us start then. You must have your textbook with you so that when I discuss, you can look at your textbook and you can relate my talk with the text. Louis Fischer is saying, when I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1917. In this very small paragraph, it's a single sentence, or there are two sentences. We get a lot of information that may be useful for your exams also. First thing is, when did Louis Fischer first meet Gandhi? That answer is given at the very beginning, that Louis Fischer said that he first met Gandhi in the year 1942. Why did he meet Gandhi? That is also given. He met Gandhi in Gandhi's ashram in Sevagram, which is in central India, in the middle of India. I will tell you, at that time Gandhi told the author, I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of, this is a phrase given at the beginning, to urge the departure. To urge the departure. This means to demand. To demand. This means Gandhi demanded the departure of the British from India. And Gandhi is telling our author that why did I make this demand? Why did I want that British should leave our country? Gandhi said that there is a reason why I wanted it. I will tell you. And this is something that happened in 1917. He had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors. During the proceedings, Gandhi recounted, a peasant came up to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor and emaciated, and said, I am Rajkumar Shukla. I am from Champaran and I want you to visit my district. Gandhi had never heard of the place. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. Gandhi told our author that why he wanted the departure of the British from India, and the reason he said that something happened in 1917. What is it? Gandhi said that in 1916, in the month of December, he went to Lucknow, and in Lucknow the Congress was having its annual session. You know that the Indian National Congress, it has its annual sessions, and it once held in Assam also in the year 1926. It was in Pandu. So every year Indian National Congress used to have its sessions in different parts of the country. In 1916 it was held in Lucknow, and Gandhi went there as a top leader of the organization to attend the meeting, attend the session. How many people attended it? 2,301 delegates. 2,301 delegates attended that annual session of the Congress Party. Now the question is, what is this delegate? Delegates are the people who are the workers of an organization, whom the local body of the organization sends to represent their unit in the central activities. For example, if you have an organization like the Assam Sahitya Sabha, it has its different branches. When the central committee meeting will be held, you may go and you may enjoy the program. If it is a 7-day program, for example, there will be entertainment, dance and songs, etc. But the organization has its own workers who will go there officially. They will go with responsibility. They will be selected by their local unit. Local unit will send them to represent their unit in the central committee activities. So these people are called the delegates. And when the annual session of the Congress was being held in Lucknow, 2,301 delegates, Congress workers from across the country, they attended it, and there are many other visitors also who were not delegates. During the proceedings, Gandhi recounted means to tell from memory, to Gandhi told from his memory that during the proceedings, when the session was going on, proceeding means when a meeting is going on, people are taking part, they are delivering lectures, they are giving suggestions. This whole activities of the meeting is called proceedings. During the proceedings, Gandhi said, a peasant came up to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor, emaciated. Gandhi said, when the session was going on, a peasant came up to me, he met me, he came in front of me, and he looked like any other peasant in India. It means peasants are peasants wherever they are poor. Emaciated is a word that is used here to describe the patient. Emaciated means one who looks thin and weak looking. So peasants are really poor people and they do not have enough to take care of their nutrition or health. So they are supposed to look very thin and poor and sick. So such a look that peasant had, and that peasant came up to Gandhi and he told Gandhi, I am Rajkumar Shukla, I am from Champaran and I want you to come to my district. This was the request of the peasant. See, Rajkumar Shukla, he was a peasant, but history says that this was the man, you will know later, this was the man, although he was a very ordinary peasant, but this was the man who introduced a place to Gandhi. The name of the place is Champaran, whose name Gandhi had not heard earlier. And this is the place that is going to make a turning point in Gandhi's life. Not only in Gandhi's life, in the history of India's freedom movement. So this very ordinary peasant, he approached Gandhi and introduced himself as Rajkumar Shukla, and he said, I want you to visit my place. Gandhi had never heard of the place. Where was it? It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. That may be a question for you, that where is Champaran situated? Champaran is situated in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. So then the thing is that Champaran is a place that Rajkumar Shukla introduced to Gandhi. It is a place that Gandhi, when he was 50 years of age, he did not hear the name of the place. Although in coming years, this place is going to make a very historic turn in the life of Gandhi. So this is the background. Next is the background of this place and the situation there. Under an ancient agreement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Who are sharecroppers? A sharecropper is a peasant who does not own the land. He is not the owner of the land. He just cultivates the land of a farmer who does not own the land. He is not the owner of the land. The land belongs to someone else. He works there, he cultivates crops there, and in return he gets some minimum amount of benefit he gets. So, under an ancient agreement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Champaran peasants means those peasants who were in Champaran, they were sharecroppers. It means they were not the owner of the land where they cultivated crops. Who were the owner of the land? The owner of the land was the British landlords. This is very important. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. Rajkumar Shukla was one of those sharecroppers who did not own the land but cultivated the land that was under the British landlords. He was illiterate but resolute. This is very important. Rajkumar Shukla was illiterate. He could not even write his name. He was illiterate. But though illiterate, he was resolute. What is this resolute? Resolute means someone who has a very strong confidence that I want to do it. He has resolution. He is determined. He is convinced that I have to do it. He is not having any kind of weakness in his mind. He is determined. That is resolute. Rajkumar Shukla, though not educated, though not literate, but he was resolute. So in life also you will find that there are persons who may not be educated, who may not even be literate, but they have resolution, they have strength of mind, they have confidence, they have learned lessons from life, and in this way they live life much better than many other so-called educated fellows. So he had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. How come this Rajkumar Shukla went to the Congress session? How come he met Gandhi? These two answers are given here. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar. In Champaran district in Bihar, landlord system was very ancient. The people who used to cultivate the land, they were not the owner of the land. Owner of the land were the British landlords. And these British landlords, they were doing a lot of injustice to the peasants. And because of this, the poor peasants were suffering. They had no way out to approach anyone to get any relief from this. And then what happened? Rajkumar Shukla, since he was resolute, he was illiterate, but he was a bit different from other peasants. He had some farsightedness. He decided that, yes, Congress always has its session every year in one place or the other. So this time, the Congress is having its annual session in Lucknow. Let me go there. All the leaders of the country, our Indian leaders will be there. Let me approach them. Let me place before them our demand, our situation, our problem, etc. Maybe they will find out one solution for us. With this objective, he went there. Remember one thing, he did not go there to meet Gandhi. This is often a confused thing. There are many people who may think that Rajkumar Shukla went to Lucknow to meet Gandhi. No. Rajkumar Shukla went to Lucknow to attend the session of the Congress because he knew that this will be a platform where he can share his grievances, the grievances and sufferings that are experienced by the poor peasants. But after going there, what happened? He was just moving possibly, he was moving here and there, not able to know what to do, whom to meet, whom to talk to. Then someone told him, talk to Gandhi. And that's why he went to Gandhi. And interestingly, Gandhi also never heard the name of the place from where Rajkumar Shukla had gone. All these things were quite new. For Rajkumar Shukla, Gandhi was a new person. For Gandhi, Champaran was a new place. But these people and this place are going to make a history. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur. See the spelling, C-A-W-N-P-O-R-A, Kanpur. That is how the British, they spelled the name. And this old spelling is now gone. We now write the word Kanpur very easily in this way. But see how it is written here. So, Kanpur, P-O-R-E. This is how Fischer has written in his book, the spelling of Kanpur. You know, other places like Chennai and Mumbai were also the name, then Kolkata, even Guwahati, these places were changed by the British, the way they pronounced it, in that way they spelled it. So that was the way how it was spelled by the British. Now we spell it K-A-N-P-U-R. So Gandhi told Shukla that I have an appointment in Kanpur and was also committed to go to other parts of India. He also had the resolution, he had also his fixed routine to visit other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. Shukla knew when he found Gandhi was a very busy person, he had a lot of appointments here and there. First he will go to Kanpur, then he will go to other parts of India. But still, Shukla went with Gandhi, he accompanied Gandhi wherever Gandhi went. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram. For weeks, how many weeks it is not mentioned. For weeks, if you say for weeks, it means for some weeks. For months, if you say for months, it means for several months. So without giving the number, you can say like this. For weeks, he never left Gandhi's side. He was determined, he was resolute, we got it earlier. So he decided that I will not leave this place. I will go back to Champaran empty-handed. I have come for a purpose. I have come to find out some solution for the peasants' problem. And since I have met someone, people say Gandhi should be the right person to help me, and I have got him. I will not leave him. I will have to take him to my place. So when it was found that Shukla did not leave Gandhi's place and Gandhi's side, and then one day Shukla asked Gandhi, fix a date. He begged, he prayed to Gandhi, he appealed to Gandhi, fix a date. I have been with you for many days and I have to take you to my place. You have to see how we are suffering. So fix a date. Impressed by the sharecropper's tenacity and story, Gandhi said, Gandhi was impressed. He was really convinced. He was very pleased with the way Shukla was really, he was working for the poor people of Champaran. Impressed by the sharecropper's tenacity. Sharecropper here means Rajkumar Shukla. Tenacity means if you have the habit of not leaving an active. For example, if you want to do a thing and you are determined. For example, if you ask your father to bring you a new shirt, and then every time you remind him, my new shirt, what is my new shirt? It means you are having some tenacity. This nature is called tenacity. You want something and you really want it, you never stop asking for it. That is tenacity. So Shukla, he did not leave Gandhi's side. He accompanied Gandhi everywhere. He was always with Gandhi. This was Shukla's tenacity, and Gandhi was very impressed with this. And then Gandhi also heard the sad story of the poor peasants from Shukla's mouth. These two things impressed him, and then he told Shukla, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such a date. Such and such a date means, the author has not mentioned the date here. It was like a date that Gandhi told, but the author is not mentioning it. Such and such a date, Gandhi told Shukla, on such and such, on this or that date, I will be in Calcutta. Come and meet me and take me from there. You can come, you can go home now, go home. Then I will be in Kolkata after 15 or 20 or 30 days on this particular date. Come from home again, meet me there, take me to your place from there, fine. Then what happened? After this talk, after this agreement, months passed. Months means how many months? No mention, it means several months. Maybe 2 months, 3 months or 4 months passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches. To sit on your haunches, this is an idiom. Sit on your haunch. To sit on one's haunch. What does this mean? This means to wait eagerly. To wait for something to come. For example, you are in the bus stand, you are waiting for your friend to come from Guwahati or from Delhi, and then you are waiting for the bus that will carry your friend, and the bus has not yet come, and you are just trying and looking which bus is coming. You are very eager to for the bus to come and to meet your friend. This is called you are sitting on your haunch. Sitting on your haunch means to wait restlessly, to wait very eagerly for something to happen. So months passed. Shukla went again to Kolkata, waiting for Gandhi. He was waiting for Gandhi. He was eagerly waiting. He was really restless. He could not get the peace of mind until he would meet Gandhi. And at the appointed spot, the place where Gandhi said, you be there, I will also be there. In that appointed spot, in that fixed place, Shukla was waiting like anything when Gandhi finally arrived. He waited till Gandhi was free. Gandhi came and he had many preoccupations, many engagements. Shukla waited for a while that Gandhi be free from all these things. Then when Gandhi became really free from his engagements, then the two of them boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. Board, B-O-A-R-D, board. This place, this thing where I am writing, this is also a board. You can call it blackboard or there are whiteboards also. But this word board you see, this is used as a bar. That's why ED is used. Both of them boarded. Board means to embark upon a journey on a vehicle. For example, you entered a bus or you entered a train, you entered an aeroplane to undertake a journey. So this entering into a vehicle, this is called board. So both of them boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. Why did they go to Bihar? Yeah, they will go to Bihar because their destination is Champaran. But why did they stop at Patna? On their way to Champaran, they stopped at Patna. Their objective was to meet someone. Rajkumar Shukla wanted a meeting between Gandhiji and one Rajendra Prasad. Who was that Rajendra Prasad? We all know. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became president of the Congress Party and of India. Lawyer is a new word you have got. It should not be that new, of course. Lawyer, you are familiar with the word, a person who helps his clients in the court of law. Lawyer, an advocate in the court. So Rajkumar Shukla took Gandhi to the house of Rajendra Prasad, who was at that time a young lawyer, an emerging lawyer, who later became the president of the Congress. And after India's independence, he became the first president of the Republic of India. And when they went there, interestingly, Rajendra Prasad was out of the town. The person whom they went to meet was not available at home. So what happened is that the servants at Rajendra Prasad's homes, they knew Rajkumar Shukla. How did they know him? Because Rajkumar Shukla would often go to their house and he would often appeal to Rajendra Prasad for help. So the servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman. Yeoman is originally it was a position in royal household in England. Here the word yeoman is used to mean peasant. The servants at Rajendra Prasad's homes, they knew Rajkumar Shukla as a poor peasant who pestered their master. Pester. The word pester means to annoy. To annoy. So Rajkumar Shukla would often come and he would often make requests to Rajendra Prasad for legal help, that's help our peasants in the court. So he would repeatedly visit their home and frequently make appeals to their master Rajendra Prasad. To mean this thing, the author has used the word pester. The servants of Rajendra Prasad's homes, they knew that Rajkumar Shukla was a poor peasant. He would often pester their master. He would often make requests to their masters and pay frequent visits to their home. So they knew this man to be an ordinary one. And when Gandhi went along with them, they would consider Gandhi to be someone like him only. Because there is a saying in English, a man is known by the company he keeps. If you are in the company of good people, people will also consider you to be someone good. The kind of people with whom you live, people consider you in the same way. So they let him stay on the ground with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant. They simply thought Rajkumar Shukla was a poor peasant and his companion Gandhi will also be someone like him only. He will also be a poor peasant only. So, Gandhi was also, in his look, he was not that glamorous. His look did not have that much charm. He looked very ordinary. So these people, they thought Gandhi was like Rajkumar Shukla. They were both of the same class, and since there is untouchability was very much in practice, they thought that these people are untouchable, they are of lower caste, and as per practice, they were advised to sit on the ground. And one more interesting thing is that Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well. Even when Gandhi wanted to draw means to take out. Common meaning of draw is not to make some graphics, etc. But another meaning of draw is to take out or to bring out. When Gandhi wanted to take out water, he wanted to draw water from the well at Rajendra Prasad's home, the servant said, no, we don't allow you. Why? Because they considered Gandhi an untouchable, and they thought that if Gandhi takes water from the well with his bucket, he is an untouchable. The moment he touches our bucket, the bucket will become impure, and when the bucket touches water in the well, all the water in the well will become impure, and they were not ready to make their water impure. So they said, no, we will not allow you to take water from the well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. The word lest is very important here. Lest means otherwise. If Gandhi would take water from the well, the whole source of water will become polluted because he was untouchable in their view. How did they know that he was not untouchable? Because Gandhi came along with Rajkumar Shukla, and Rajkumar Shukla was well known to them as a poor peasant, and Gandhi also looked similar. So they considered both of them same, and they considered Gandhi also to be an untouchable, so they did not allow him to take water from the well. And there may be a question on this: why was Gandhi not allowed to draw water from the well at Rajendra Prasad's home? So Gandhi's and Rajkumar Shukla's visit to Rajendra Prasad's home to meet him failed. Their mission failed because Rajendra Prasad was out of the town. What did they do then? This we will see in the next part of the video.